Hey, it's Tom. It's time for another edition of Page Turning Tuesdays. But first, a little comedy. Interesting fact, I was not breastfed by my mother. I was actually breastfed by my grandmother, which really didn't have any long term effects, except that when I go to buy milk, I have this overwhelming desire to buy it past its expiration age. Boom. All right, are you ready for another reading from chapter 7? We are on the Diamond D Ranch. My mother is making movies. She creates a makeshift theater upstairs in her bedroom by thumbtacking sheets across the exposed studs. It's our own little big screen. We grab our pillows and gather on the floor with a pan of Jiffy Pop, getting to watch the latest reels that arrive in the mail. John laces the film into the projector and then shuts off the lights. The only sound is that of the projector's noisy fan and the clicking of its spinning reels. The beam of light illuminates all the dust particles in the air, many of which I'm highly allergic to. Chris painted the Funny Farms film logo, a round bird, a circular eye, a triangular beak, and a bigger triangular wing. Every film starts with this title card. Tonight's movie begins with a car shadow moving along the side of the road. It's interesting at first, seeing the shape of the shadow change as it passes over different textures, but after several miles of the same thing, I'm ready to jump out. The next clip features tree shadows swaying in the wind, shadows of Alex playing with his cars, horse shadows, cow shadows, fence shadows, and then way too much moving ground shadow shot from the spinning tire swing. It's nauseating. My sisters and I look at each other, confused, shrugging our shoulders. I call that one shadows, my mother says seriously. Gee, I wonder why, I say sarcastically. Mom, and to a slightly lesser degree, John, find the films fascinating. They watch some of them over and over, forwards and backwards, sometimes frame by frame, discussing them ad nauseum. The next movie is one we've all seen before, featuring a delightful star-shaped beanbag named Jocko. It's nothing but a series of shots showing Jocko in unexpected places. Jocko in the windowsill, Jocko up a tree, Jocko on the couch watching TV, Jocko in the freezer. This movie gets on our nerves. Golly, where will she put Jocko next? Who cares? There are 5 kids running around this big old ranch, riding horses, feeding chickens, and having birthdays. Perfect subjects for precious family memories, and Jocko steals the starring role. Jocko is actually a brilliant film compared to Bitchin' Kitchen. Who knew that watching lengthy shots of kitchen utensils resting on the counter was a form of torture capable of making one's head explode? The highlight of this film is a potato masher hung by a string in the window, spinning in the sunlight until she runs out of film. Would it kill her to point her camera at one of us now and then? In all fairness, there are some clips and movies in which we do appear. There's one titled School Bus that shows Molly walking down the long driveway to catch the bus in the morning and ends with her getting off the bus and walking home. She did the same thing with Shelley and Chris. Both are carrying their books in the same arm at the same angle, walking in stride, perfectly in sync on their way home down our dirt driveway. Chris presents the camera with a Jacob's ladder woven into her fingers and says, "I love you, Mom." There's no sound to these movies, but you can read her lips perfectly. There are cute shots of Molly picking fistfuls of wildflowers and 6 seconds of Alex laying in the dirt with a chicken on his back. There's a clip of John looking into the camera. He says, "Fuck you," and adds, "in the mouth." After that, he flips off the camera and walks towards the barn to work on his car. There's a sequence of me climbing the rope above the tire swing all the way to the top. I touch the branch, look down, and then descend impossibly fast. Molly goes up next. She's wearing a dress, and as she climbs, the only thing you see is the disgusting stain in her underwear. Molly cringes and buries her head. The rest of us howl. I don't know why it's so thrilling or so funny or so traumatic to see ourselves on film. Maybe because it gives us a glimpse of how we look to the rest of the world. Unfortunately, there's also a film that features each of us coming out of the house, one by one, holding a kitten in our arms, except Alex, who holds his by the head. It's cute and we giggle, but this film also triggers the fact that these are the kittens John murdered, which leads to tears and feelings almost as strong as the day it happened. Our home movie with the kittens is like the Zapruder film. It starts out nice, warm and fuzzy, and ends with chaos, gore, and sorrow. Her crowning achievement is a film called Down in the Dumps. It's the kind of movie that immediately begs the viewer to search for meaning, not just because of the particular content, but also to understand who the hell made this film and why. And we'll end it there today. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next Tuesday on another edition of Page Turning Tuesdays with Tom. So long.